This video is about rerouting the sunroof drains, specifically for the second generation Infiniti FX. There are plenty of videos like this already for the G35, G37 stuff, but I wanted to make one specifically for the second generation FX, like this one here. And basically what we're going to be doing is splicing into the sunroof drain that runs down the A-pillar and then exits through a very poorly designed grommet thing on the firewall, which inevitably fails. The water leaks into the car, destroying the body control module like it did already once on this car. It also took out my illumination control module. So bad, in fact, that I had to splice in a new wire harness pigtail thing here because it was so corroded. So I want to do a permanent fix. Basically, we're going to splice into the drain tube here, reroute it down to the floor where we're going to tee into the AC condensate drain, which drains out through the floor, completely bypassing the crappy grommet thing in the dash. Yes, there are revised part numbers depending on when your car was made that are supposedly an improvement, but this is going to be a far more foolproof long-term solution, I believe. So let's get started. Alright, so I already had the glove box out to get better access to the wires to repair that illumination control module. I don't think you have to do it, but it will certainly make your life a lot easier if you do. It's not terribly complicated to get the glove box out. All I will say is that there is a hidden bolt like way down there that you can't even see. And that's the only really hard part about getting the glove box out. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of screws. Anyways, so as you can see down here on the firewall, there is that black tube. That is what we are going to tap into. At least here on the passenger side. I'm going to check the other side to see if there's anything else, or if I'm going to have to route it all from the driver's side all the way over here, which is less than ideal. Anyways, so that's where the AC drains out of. Pretty good sized line. So that's what we're going to be aiming for. Alright, so first we want to pop off the A-pillar cover here. First thing you do is you pull this weather stripping down to expose it. And I just kind of worked my way from the top down. You know, you want to be gentle but also forceful. These things seem pretty robust. They have quite a bit of bracing in them compared to a lot of other more delicate A-pillars I've worked with. So you don't have to worry too much. But start popping it out, and once you get it going, I think, or is there still one more? Nah, there may be one more. I'm going to turn off the video and get back to it. Alright, well that A-pillar has a feature I've never seen before. You see that little blue thing up there? Well, it goes into that slot, as you can see, and to remove it, you have to twist it 90 degrees to rotate it so it can come out. I had to use a pair of kind of long pliers, but you just kind of stick them up there, twist it, and then it'll rotate. And I'm assuming, hooray, yay, now the whole thing will come out. Or almost. But that's how you do it. Alright, so I took my calipers and measured the outer diameter of the original tube here. It is 1/2 inch outer diameter. That matches, luckily, the stuff I had picked up from the store. 1/2 inch outer diameter. So, kind of like when you are draining a diff or a transmission, you always want to crack the fill plug before you drain out the old fluid, just in case you can't actually open up the drain plug. Well, similar principle here. Don't cut your original line until you're sure you can actually feed the new one through to the bottom. Because then you'd be in a tough spot if you somehow can't feed in the new line. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to feed the new line down or up, whichever way ends up working, before I make any cuts to the factory stuff. So, you know, measure. If you have the second gen, it's 99% chance it's going to be this 1/2 inch outer diameter hose. Then you can get to work. All right, so I got the hose routed. I was trying to keep a couple things in mind when I was doing this. You should probably do the same. One, you want to make sure that this thing, obviously doesn't have any U's in it, or, basically you don't want at any point in this thing where the hose has to go up before going back down again, because that's a recipe for clogs and things like that. So you want to just kind of maintain as nice of a downward trajectory as you can get. Other thing is, I wanted to make sure when I route this thing that it doesn't get pinched or get a nail through it when I screw everything, or a screw through it when I screw everything back together. So it took a little, playing around. But this is the orientation. I put it down in front, or basically, as close to you as you can get before the HVAC guy here. So start feeding it down. I'll turn on my light here. Let's see if I can actually show you this. Oh boy, this is going to be tough. Oof. Basically, I wanted it routed as far away from any of these screw points in here as I could. So it's basically behind this metal bracket, it's behind this metal bracket. I have it going behind this metal bracket a little bit, and I have it exiting. Well, I guess you can kind of see that. I have it coming right down next to the body control module here, this big black box. I have it running down here. So it's just very tucked out of the way. And it's not in danger of getting any screws poked through it when I reassemble everything. So now it is ready. Turn that back off. Ready to be merged with the AC line. So let's do that. All right, moving on to the driver's side. I think I'm going to try something that I don't know how many people have done this before. I'm guessing not a whole lot. And I have decided that rather than trying to snake the new hose all the way through over there without it having any, low spots, to have a, basically have it go like that the whole way over there, I think is going to be a really challenging proposition. I also think there is a small chance that if you are in a heavy rain and, let's say both driver's side and passenger tubes are at capacity, when they meet, if they were joined over there on the passenger side to the AC line with the T or however it would get joined, that outlet is only as big as one of those tubes. So if they are both at full capacity, the drain tube cannot flow enough, I don't think. I mean, I guess pressure could do something. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but to me, there's a chance that they could both, if you're in a, super heavy rain, it couldn't drain fast enough, and you could potentially have water start backing all the way up the A-pillar and then start leaking out right there. So, rather than chance that, and also rather than, fighting to make a line go all the way over there on a proper slope, I have decided I'm just going to drill a hole right down there in that circular relief on the bottom. which is the exact same spot or relief cutout that there is on the passenger side for the grommet. And I'm just going to install a grommet and run the hose directly down there. Nice straight shot, and never have to worry about the flow being too heavy for the single drain. So now there will be one drain on each side, and it should be really easy. I checked underneath the car to verify that the area below that is open. There is an open cavity, just like there is on the other side where the drain is. So this is safe. And really, I'm just mirroring what they did from the factory on the other side. So I don't think there's a whole lot of risk in doing this. And I think there are a couple benefits. So that's where it is. Now, again, you may be able to do this without removing your lower dashboard thing there. Mine was already partially removed due to other work, and it will make it a lot easier if it's not there in your way. But you could probably get by with it in place. So, I have marked off where the drill is going to go. Here is my grommet. I have measured the kind of outer diameter of the inner part of the grommet that will fit in the hole. It is, for this grommet, you're going to want to measure your own before you go drilling stuff, but mine is 20 millimeters or 0.8 inch. I'm going to use a step bit. I found which one corresponds with 0.8 inch. So I will drill the hole, and then I will hog it out with the step bit until it is the right size for the grommet. Slide the hose through the grommet, and I'm done. So let's check back and see how this goes. All right. So everything went smoothly. I drilled some small holes, and then I used the step bit. There we go. Okay. So I made my perfect little 0.8 inch hole, and then I decided to give it 3 rounds of spray paint real quick, just to get that last, or the edge of the metal coated in some paint so it can't start to rust. So that is done, and so it is now ready for the grommet and for the hose. So let's keep moving. Alright, so I'm about to start cutting everything and doing the final assembly. Here are the pieces I started out with. 2 of these barb fittings for where we do the splice into the factory tube on the A-pillar, and then this T-fitting for tapping into the AC drain line on the passenger floor. But I am going to need another fitting because let's see if I can get some decent light in here. So really, you can probably imagine the problem here. For that hose to lie down flat on the ground, because you can't just have a tube sticking vertically up through the hole, the hose bends over, and that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to go look for a 90-degree fitting, so the tube can lay flat on the floor and just go straight into the 90-degree fitting, which will then go out through the grommet there on the floor. So I got to go get that, but it will work. Just need another part there, but that's how it's going. So let's keep moving. All right, I bought some new parts. I decided to replace the plastic T with a brass one, and I got the 90-degree fitting that's going to go on the driver's side. And I also, thankfully these came with some proper hose clamps, so I'm going to use those instead of the zip ties, now that I can actually clamp them down without having to worry about breaking the cheap plastic. So I'm going to throw these in and show you what I got. So just a note about these T-fittings, the brass one's going to flow like twice as much as this plastic one does. Interestingly, on the bottom part, it looks to be about the same, but on these sides of the T, that's a lot less flow coming through those things. Another good reason to get some brass here. Here's the finished product on the passenger side. You can see the T in there. Just peel this back. That is the end result there. I can't remember if I already mentioned it because it's been a while since I worked on this. I did reroute that hose coming down from the A-pillar, so it has a more gradual and continuous drop to it instead of having a bit of a flat section or even a U to it. So I'm pretty confident the water is going to flow straight down without any interruptions. So that side is done, so let's show you the driver's side. And here we have the driver's side. You can see I got the hose kind of running up the firewall there. Again, trying to maintain an always downward angle of the hose so there's no up and down nonsense. So with the 90-degree fitting, there's no weird kinks to the hose. I did attach a piece of the hose to the bottom side there of the 90-degree elbow so it fits nice and snug still through the rubber grommet on the firewall. And I just tested it. I'm guessing partially due to the hose clamp down here, but I can actually press as hard as I can down on that guy there and it's not going to pop through. There are some pieces of foam that go around this or on top of it or the side of it, whatever. Probably going to have to trim those a little bit to get everything to fit back, but everything should fit normally. Alright, got the foam piece back in here. I decided to cut it up a little bit. Oh boy, this thing's going to be in the way. As you can see, I cut off a little bit of the side there next to the hose, and I'm running the hose up inside of it to kind of give it some protection so the hose is well protected underneath. And then, let's see if I can get in there. I did open up the very top there where the hose comes out, just so that has kind of a little hole to come up through. And that's pretty much it, I think. This guy is done, and I tested everything out actually when I washed the car. Both of them work great. So I'm calling this project done. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps somebody.